Thanks, guys. And if you've been joining in with Salt TV, we've been doing daily messages online, and they won't be continuing daily, but there'll be 2 or 3 of those each week. So we don't want to, and we will continue that into the future. Meg and I just had a week off last week, and I don't know if you know, but when I go for a week off, I don't like just racing around and doing lots of things. I just like resting and recalibrating. And I think we were in the Blue Mountains, because it's all blurs into one now. And I was talking to God, and he reminded me of something, and he said to me, "Do you remember 8 years ago when you were sitting in your office and you were writing these words down?" And they were the words, "Passionate lovers of God, relentless lovers of people." And I said, yeah, of course I remembered that. I remembered writing those down, because that's who we are. That's who Salt is. Passionate lovers of God, relentless lovers of people. And he said, I want to say something to you. He said, "You thought you made those words up." And I said, "Well, I remember writing them down." And he said to me this. He said, "I gave you those words as a prophetic model for what you and Meg and Salt will build." And I said, "Oh gosh." And he said, I want to just say this. And he started to say to me that being passionate lovers of God and relentless lovers of people, he said, "I've given you 2 things to do, and everything that you do needs to fall under those 2 categories, either passionately loving God or relentlessly loving people. And if you do those 2 things, everything else I will do. That's what I've called you guys to do." And I started to think about that. I started to think about, so passionately loving God, connected here, and then connecting here is all he requires us to do. It sounds simple, doesn't it? It sounds quite simple. And he said, if you do anything else, that's not what I've called you to do. I've called you to connect with me and connect with others. And I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but how do you passionately love God? How do you passionately love a God that you may never have connected with, or actually you think that doesn't even exist? How do you connect with someone like that? And I just want to read to you, and I'm only going to keep you for a few minutes, so don't think this guy's going for long. He's not going to go for long at all. In 1 John...
We've been waiting 3.5 months for this. You've got at least 3 hours.
I won't do that to you, because there's something we want to do today. In 1 John 4, verse 10, it says this. It says, "This is love. He loves us long before we loved him. It was his love, not ours. He proves it by sending his Son as a pleasing sacrificial offering to take away our sin." Now, this is his love for us, that he gave his Son to remove the barrier of sin, remove the barrier of the past, so we could be connected to him, and so we could then start being filled with the love of God. Now, what is the love of God? The love of God is this unmeasurable love that comes from him, and no matter what we've done in the past, doesn't matter where we've been in our life, it is for us always. It is not measured by what you do. It is not measured by your performance or your behaviour. It is just his love for us. And so he said to us, as a group of people, as a group of believers, I want you to passionately love me. Who do you passionately love? You might be sitting here going, well, I passionately love this person or that person. Or you might be sitting here going, I don't passionately love anybody. But he's asked us to passionately love him. He's asked us to connect with him in such a way because you are worth it. You are worth it. Look at the person next to you and tell them they're worth it. You're worth it. And in this verse in John 4, verse 10, he's reminding us, hey, he loved you far beyond and far before you ever decided to love him. He goes on in verse 11 and says this, delightfully loved ones, if he loved us with such tremendous love, then loving one another should be our way of life. Don't you reckon? If he loves us, because you can't give what you haven't got. If he loves us and he's pouring love into us, it then makes us overflow into loving others. So that's when he loves us, when we passionately love him, there's this overflow and it enables us to relentlessly love all those around us. And so we start glazed through the eyes of Jesus and he just loves us. That's who he is. As we love him, we relentlessly are able to love others, even those really pee you off. Oh, you say that. People that really pee you off at times, isn't there? But he gives us, but that doesn't mean them. We actually are relentless lovers, which means we go beyond the realm. And we love because it's my decision to love you. No, you can hurt me, you can throw me, you can do whatever you want to me, but my decision is I will always love you because I passionately love him about this love for us, and he enables us to connect with anyone. Anyone. I had an amazing privilege this week to sit down with a friend, a hero of mine, and this hero of mine was telling me how he has not seen his children in 10 years. And the pain of children has been welling up in his heart, and it doesn't mean he loves them, he loves them, but he's not able to see them. And it's ripping him apart. See, love needs an outlet. If we're going to love someone, we can't just love them from afar and not let them know. Love has an action. And everything that you do, everything that Salt does, everything that we have brought to light is about loving him and relentlessly loving people. And people say, but are people grateful of what you do? It's not about them being grateful. It's about us loving them. It's about us relentlessly loving them. It's about us going above and beyond because he first loved us. See, if we do it in our own strength, you run out of love. But when you know you're loved from here, from heaven, there's this huge amount of love that comes on the inside and it can never run out. His love is never ending. It is always pouring out for you, which enables you to pour out for others. When my first daughter was born, Chloe, she was born with an emergency cesarean. They said she wasn't going to last the night. And I remember seeing her. She was the size of my hand. And I remember seeing her for the first time, and something happened on the inside. I can't explain it. It's never happened before. It's never happened until that moment. But there was a love that I had, and I said to the nurses, I said to the doctors, is there something I can do, because I will swap my life for hers right now. Now that is the sort of love that Jesus has for you. He first laid eyes on you in your mother's womb and he said, that's the person I would die for. That's a person I will give it all for. That's how much you are loved. So I want to leave you with this morning, and because we are going to finish there, but we're going to play a song, and I want you to just sit back in your chair, sit back. You can sit back on a cushion if that's what you like, but I want you to listen to this song. And afterwards, I'm going to just activate something. And I'm going to ask you to just ask a couple of questions to the people in your surrounding area. But so please just sit back and let's listen to this song and just be immersed in the love that God has for you.